fart noise.
Did you not see the parentheses?
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Ben and Christy are elsewhere this week. Boo. But sitting in is Francis Maxwell, newly minted print film critic. We're excited to have you with us. And of course, Matt Atchity from Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm Alonso Duralde from TheWrap. Pitch Perfect 2, because it's pitchier.
Yes, Pitch Perfect 2 finds the Barden Bellas at a command performance at Lincoln Center. Things go sideways for them, or south.
Kennedy Center.
Kennedy Center, sorry. Yeah. Lincoln, Kennedy, same guy.
Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy.
Yeah. They both had a center. Anyway, Barden Bellas have a terrible moment in this performance for the president and are about to lose their status as the #1 a cappella team in the country. And the only way they can get that back is by beating everyone else in the world at being an a cappella group. Let's watch a clip.
Could be the ham in that man sandwich.
Let's go!
The World Championships of Acapella, where every 4 years, the best from around the globe compete for world domination. No American team has ever won.
That's because they hate us.
The whole world.
The whole world hates us.
I will do whoever it takes in order for us to get back to the top.
You mean whatever it takes?
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Every Bella must christen the house by sliding down the staircase.
Let me show you. Crushed it.
So sequels are pretty much almost always, they're either, there's a tiny few that are amazing and even better than the first movie. There's a lot that are just the pits. And then there's that middle ground of like, well, you liked it once, let's do it all again. And this movie kind of does it all again.
Right.
And if you liked it the first time, you'll ostensibly like it, warmed over. I don't know.
Yeah, this hits a lot of the same notes. Does a lot of the same things.
As it
I mean,
were.
the storyline is very much the same too. They're a good group, and
they
something
embarrass
terrible
themselves,
happens.
they have to bring them back, yeah.
They got to come back. Do something new, find their voice. Again, right, like you said, if you like the first one, this one's going to be fine. Yeah. The jokes are kind of the same level. It's fine. It's fine.
It's just that the first one, there was that surprise of being a thing that nobody was really expecting.
Right.
And the surprises are not what sequels tend to be about.
Yeah, the first one, as we said, it was unexpected. It was fun. I loved it a lot. The second one just feels like that time when you're trying, as I said to you before, when you're trying to retell a joke and it never really does come across as funny as when you hear it first time. And that was where my problem was. If this was a movie all on its own without the original, I would be like, okay, this is fun. I like this movie. But I felt like a lot more of the jokes were forced, and they went with exactly what worked in the first one and tried to just give you more of it, right? So you've got Fat Amy consistently being overconfident about her weight and everything included, and just kept going with that. There was no real other development of her character. And when they did try to develop that, it was this forced love story, as you said, that just didn't seem like somewhat legitimate. I was just almost watching it like, okay, this is just to fill in screen time.
Yeah, the one new thing they throw at us this time, we get Haley Steinfeld playing an incoming freshman who's a legacy who joins the Bellas, and she's also a songwriter, even though original music is anathema to the world of a cappella, where it's all about covers, nothing else. Yeah. And she's got some fun moments, and I remember she played a sort of similar character last year in Begin Again. I was not entertained. I had a good time. It's almost 2 hours. It doesn't feel it, So there's something to be said for that. It just doesn't have that spark of the new. But if you are a super fan of the first one and are really excited about this one, you're not going to be disappointed. You're just not going to be, I think, as elated as you were the first time, because the first time was fresh and this time it's less so.
I would have liked to have seen. This is the first film directed by Elizabeth Banks, who is she's one of the commentators with John Michael Higgins.
Right, and
she produced the first one. She optioned the story.
She did direct one of the segments of my beloved movie 43.
Yeah. Well, we won't hold that against her. There are moments in this movie that are outside of the a cappella story that I actually think are better than the rest of the movie. The plot line with kind of the internship that happens,
Right.
I thought was interesting. And Keegan-Michael Key plays this music producer.
Yeah, he's really
and
good.
there's some funny stuff and very good story stuff going in there
Sure.
about teaching our main character, teaching Becca that she's she can't just rely on mashups. Like let's hear what's new with you. That's an interesting thing. There's this little moment where one of the bits that is completely different and like a different type of joke is the bit with Rebel Wilson crossing the street and the car. And it's like this little moment that's this really natural, organic, funny bit.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, I wish the rest of the movie had a lot more of that, as opposed to, oh, we're going to have the Asian girl do the little client,
The weird,
Yeah.
the weird
whispers,
things.
yeah.
We're going to have, all these characters have the one note. It makes me interested in seeing what else we might get out of Elizabeth Banks, because I felt like those are moments that outside of kind of the formula of the first film,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by.
Yeah,
So,
and as you said, in the first one, there was that statutory voice that was Becca and her journey, right? So that was the main storyline, and you're kind of taking along with the ride and seeing everything else evolve. I didn't feel that her storyline was the main focus point in this movie. I felt that we were drawn by far too many love stories. There was like 3 love stories going on at one point. There was like Bumper and Fat Amy, and then the new girl and the
Right.
guy from the last one. And I felt that it all just detracted from the main storyline, which, as you said, Becca's storyline and trying to break the music industry was interesting to me, and I loved the producer. I thought he was one of the most authentic, funny characters throughout.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, again, I had a good time, but you're right. I think a lot of times it just sort of feels like, well, this worked before, let's just do it again. And if there is a Pitch Perfect 3, which I imagine is almost inevitable, they're pretty much setting it up where it's going to have to be a lot of new people. So, I hope that they can
unless
sort
it's the reunion tour.
True, yes. But, so the idea of them sort of maybe starting fresh and finding a new way to work in this world, because, I think these movies, I love their energy. I love how they are musicals in a way that, for people that complain, oh, I don't like musicals because I never buy it when people immediately burst into song, they actually give you a context which it totally makes sense they would burst into song, because that's what they do. And of course they know all these songs, and they're ready, they've got the lyrics ready to go. They're going to hop in with their harmonies at any moment. Not that a cappella obviously doesn't require a lot of rehearsal, but we're just going to pretend that doesn't happen.
I feel like I wouldn't have missed anything, though, if I just bought the soundtrack after it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's where the best part's coming through. That's where it's most authentic, when you get the mashups and the harmonies, which the bit when they're around the campfire, which seemed like the best part of the movie for me, just when they started to come together and find their voice.
When I'm gone.
When I'm gone.
When I'm gone.
I will say that I do hope this December that we have a new Christmas standard from Anna Kendrick and a hip-hop performer that we will not give away here.
Yes, and I also want to see more of the musical stylings of a particular football team.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Who knew they had it in them? All right, numbers, please.
It's fine, 6.5.
6 for me.
Yeah, I gave it a 7.9. I looked back, I gave the first Pitch Perfect a 9. This is not at that level, but I had a breezy enough time. So our average is a 6.8, which pretty much matches the tomato meter
About 70%.
at 69% when I peaked. So yeah, again, you like the first one, you'll re-like it, I guess. And if you didn't, you're not even gonna go.